With just 8 days until the election now, concerns on the rise after fires were set inside 2 ballot drop boxes in Oregon and in Washington, destroying hundreds of votes. The fire only a mere 10 miles apart from the other in Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington, both happening this morning. Investigators say a device was tossed into the ballot boxes, causing that fire. But a fire suppression system was able to put it out, with only a few ballots saved.
Burn, baby. What am I looking at? Do you believe it? Good morning. Marcus Conte reporting. Burning ballots. That's the state of America right now. They're burning the ballots. They have ballot drop boxes for you to drop off your ballot, and someone's dropping off a fucking fire.
From that blaze.
Acts like this are targeted and they're intentional.
Yeah.
And we're concerned about that intentional act trying to affect the election process. We're dedicated to stopping that kind of behavior, and we're working toward that today.
She called it election interference. Good. Interfering with the election. There's a car. There's a suspect. They have a suspect, but nobody in custody.
Police do say they've identified a suspect vehicle in connection to both incidents.
Amazing times we live in, right? So there you go. There's people in Oregon now. Who's doing it, right? Who's doing it? Right? It's not just one box burning. I mean, first of all, why are there ballot boxes out on the street where people can do something like they just did, attack the election box? Why not put it inside the post office? Why not put it inside, I don't know, maybe a shopping mall or somewhere where is visible? Why not have them at all? Why not just set them up on election day where people can come by and drop their shit in the box at the polling place? This is sick. This is election fraud. So who's doing it? I say it's Antifa. Right? I always told you on this program that when you go to what is Antifa anyway? Antifa is a German concept of ridding the government of fascism. Right now, the Antifa movement in America, the best I understand it, to my best understanding, is that the Antifa people. Are we live? Give me a thumbs up if we're live, by the way. William R. Hall in the house. Vinny D. Martini, what's up? SG Crippler, how are you, man? Weevil Girl, I saw Weevil Girl in there. Catsville Camden, good morning. Champs. And everybody else. Just give me a hello if we're working. I always want to know. I'm pretty sure we're going. Good morning. It was a 20-second delay, so I'll wait. Looks like we're live. It looks like we're live. All right, so Antifa is a concept to rid the government of fascism by its people. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much in the chat. Good to see you back. William R. Hall, back from his hiatus of censorship, his censored hiatus. But this is the Antifa is as I said, German concept of ridding the government of fascism, right? And you wonder about now when you go Antifa, right? Antifa.com, right? Where are you going to go? Antifa.com. I just put in Antifa.com. Why do I end up at the White House? Why do I still, after all this time, end up at the White House when I plug in Antifa? Now, is that a mistake? No, it's a concept of. Here's the problem, though. The Antifa movement in this country, in America, is not loyal to any one party. They see the oligopoly, the oligarchy, the two-party monopoly as the problem and would like to burn it all down. But when it's convenient, the White House tries to take some of that and put it on the other guy. Oh yeah, Antifa, we're for ridding the country of fascism, and Trump's a fascist. Right? See how that works? So that's still suspect number one. Why? Because it's in Oregon. It's in Washington. Right? It's in the fucking crazy left of the country where Antifa runs wild. So this is my thumbnail today. This is what we're going to be talking about. And thank you for the check in the chat. We are live. So there it is. Officials are literally putting out fires inside of the voting boxes in 2024. In this, a week before the election, they're putting out fires inside of the voting boxes. So my name is Marcus Conte, educational, philosophical live stream every morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9 a.m., right here in the great United States of America. While we still have elections, while we still have somewhat of a free speech, speech is free, but it's not free for you to hear it. Someone has to pay somebody else for them to hear your speech, something like that. I think they call it advertising. But that's where we are. Here we go. Public hearing Monday. Oh my God, I can't believe it's here already. There's a lot happening behind the scenes with this, and I'll be relatively quiet. The case of Marcus Conte versus the Brooklyn Hospital Center. Get your white privilege out of here! White privilege! In the case of white privilege, I have white privilege. Right? That's why it's okay to discriminate against me because I'm white. Says the Brooklyn Hospital Center. There's no case here. There's nothing. Right? So we're going to go in, and we have video evidence of Mr. Wright telling this reporter to get your white privilege out of here while he was visiting a hospital covering the pandemic, during the pandemic. And we're finally at a case. Everything is brewing. Lawyers and papers are flying back and forth, and we'll have this hearing. I'm going to put the link right here before the hearing on Monday, 9 a.m. I wish I do. There'll be no show on Monday, so I hope everybody comes and joins me. And then Tuesday is Election Day. Well, I might go live on Election Day at some point. So we'll try to cover it. I'll try to cover it the best I can. I don't know what I can cover. I'll just hang out and talk about the election, I guess. But we're coming around the bend. So that's, there you have it, right? So let's hear a little more of this story. Hundreds of ballots set on fire in Washington and Oregon. Can't make it up. Here we go.
FBI joining the investigation now after 3 ballot drop boxes were set on fire in the Pacific Northwest, destroying hundreds of ballots. Images of burning paper being...
Hundreds of ballots have been destroyed, right? Hundreds already, right? That's just the ones we know about now, right? What about the other ones that disappear? Right? Who's doing it, right? Who's doing this, right? Did they find anybody? You're telling me that a car pulls up to a voting booth and there's no camera evidence, there's no license plate, there's no snapshot of who did it? I find that hard to believe too. Unless they're not treating it like a crime, or are they? Oh, this is a low-level crime. It's just burning paper. It's okay.
Pulled out of a drop box. This is Vancouver, Washington, just before dawn this morning, and what officials are now saying voters should do. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, now.
Tonight, the FBI on the hunt for a suspected arsonist behind 3 fiery attacks on ballot drop boxes, destroying hundreds of ballots in the Pacific Northwest.
The FBI is in on it. The FBI is in on it. I bet they don't find anybody. If they don't find anybody, then you know who did it. Right? If the FBI doesn't locate anybody and have a suspect in custody in the next fucking hour, then you know who did it.
We do have smoke coming out of the ballot box.
Officials say the fires, only miles apart in Portland, Oregon and Vancouver, Washington.
I've never seen anything like that. A ballot fucking box in the street? This country is going down the tubes. Elon Musk is right. This may be the last election. Because nobody trusts the other, right? Why can't you just have goddamn Election Day voting, in-person paper ballot, and count them the same day? Why can't we do that? If you're too ill and too old or too young to make it to the ballot, then fuck you.
Sparked by incendiary devices attached to the outside of the drop boxes.
Any form of voter intimidation, disruption, blocking of access, or vandalism at these sites will not be tolerated.
Authorities concerned that someone could get hurt, releasing a photo of the suspect's Volvo. This box.
Someone can get hurt. You're burning the fucking election. You burn. No one. It's not a physical hurt. You're damaging the country by allowing people to set ballots on fire.
Set ablaze just before dawn in Vancouver, Washington. Officers prying open the box, then pulling out ballots still burning. An hour earlier in Portland, a second fire.
It looks like there's some kind of device attached to the ballot box.
Luckily, only 3 ballots damaged because of fire suppressant inside the box. It comes as Homeland Security officials today.
They build the box. Did you hear that? With a fire suppressant inside of the box. What the fuck is that? You're anticipating a fire? That's crazy, right? Do mailboxes have that? No, mailboxes go on fire all the time, but crazy. A crazy idea to put a official ballot box on the street where some psychopath kid with a book of matches can spoil the day.
Issued a new bulletin warning that domestic violent extremists are posting online threats of violence toward election officials or infrastructure to prevent perceived fraud or to retaliate against it.
State officials in Washington are calling the arsons acts of terror as they step up patrols in the region. Voters who are concerned their ballots might be impacted can
Who's calling it an act of terror? What politicians? I didn't hear anybody say that.
Contact their local election office or track their ballots online to see if they've been received.
Okay, so that's ABC reporting. Let's just go through. Let's see if Fox.
About to the Pacific Northwest. This is a story I know that a lot of you are talking about. A lot of you are following right now. Take a look at some of this video, though.
Yeah, let's look at it.
Okay, so this is what we know, according to the Associated Press. Authorities, including the FBI, were investigating today after early morning fires were set in ballot drop boxes in Portland, Oregon, and in nearby Vancouver, Washington, where hundreds of ballots were destroyed there. Now, the Portland Police Bureau reported officers and firefighters responded to a fire in one ballot drop box. This was around 3:30 in the morning.
So in the middle of the night, 3:30 in the morning, when nobody's around, right? Where's the car? Where's the fucking snapshot, right?
They determined an incendiary device had been placed inside. Now,
an incendiary device placed inside. What? Like an exploding fucking book of matches? It doesn't take much to burn paper. It's just paper ballot, right?
The Multnomah County Elections Director, his name, Tim Scott, he said a fire suppressant inside of the drop box protected nearly all the ballots. Only 3 of them were damaged, and his office planned to contact those voters to help them obtain replacement ballots. Now,
so do we believe that? That one of the boxes that was set on fire, they're claiming that only 3 ballots got burned. The rest of them survived.
A few hours later, though, I want to put up some new video here. Take a look at this. Across the Columbia River in Vancouver, TV crews captured footage of smoke pouring out of a ballot box.
So this is a targeted event. This is when it happens 3 times in one night. That's a roaming fucking mob doing it, or it's some kind of concerted effort. Yeah, we'll do this box, and you guys do that box, and you guys over there do the other box, and they all do it at once. Right? Or it's just one lone wolf roaming around doing it.
Box at a transit center. Vancouver is the biggest city.
Johnny Heft says maybe a flare, right? What was the incendiary device? That's a good point. I don't know. For me, I would think like a book of matches, but a flare, or maybe like a sparkler, or a Roman candle, like a firework, right? A fire, any fucking firecracker, right? Any kind of thing that blows up, or not blows up, but smokes and makes fire. Firecrackers.
In Washington's 3rd congressional district, the site of what is expected to be one of the closest U.S. House races in the country between first-term Democratic Congresswoman Marie Gluesenkamp Perez and Republican challenger Joe Kent. This is a rematch from 2022 here. Yeah, even more.
I don't think it has. I don't think it has to do with any local fucking nonsense at all. Local elections. This is Kamala versus Trump.
Both Portland,
Donald versus Kamala.
Nearby Vancouver, Washington, where hundreds of ballots were destroyed here. And in this press conference, authorities do believe that these 2 incidents are related, are connected. Let's listen.
Let's listen.
And again, we collected it through the Metro Explosive Disposal Unit. These incidents are similar in nature. No one was injured in any of these incidents. We're working with
police are confirming that the incidences are similar in nature. That's good to know, right? So they see a pattern, right? There's a pattern. A pattern has emerged.
With our partners across the river here in Portland, and sharing information with our federal law enforcement partners in hopes of bringing this to a successful conclusion.
Little Girl says it could be bored teenagers, just teenagers like, fuck it, man, I got nothing to do tonight. How about you, man? Yo, bro, hold my beer, and I'm going to go set that box on fire. Watch this shit, man, right? It could be something as painless as that. But three different spots, I don't know, yeah, sure, kids drive, right? Young teenagers, drunk, this will fucking burn the place.
Questions?
Good afternoon, Assistant Chief Amanda McMillan, Portland Police.
Hi.
Just a couple quick comments, and then we'll take questions.
Portland Police Chief.
We really just wanted to acknowledge the heightened emotion around this event as we build up to the election. We're acutely aware going into the election how folks are feeling, and then events like this with the damage at the ballot boxes. Just wanted to emphasize that we're dedicated to work collaboratively with all of our partners here, federal partners, the county, Vancouver PD, and the Sheriff's Office working to resolve these cases. We do have an investigator working the leads in this.
The case of Seth Rich comes to mind, where the FBI investigates and they find nobody. They just find a dead guy.
This case, we don't know the motive behind these acts. It sounds like a series of 3 at this point. But we do know that acts like this are targeted and they're intentional. And we're concerned about.
I think I want to just elaborate on that. Weevil Girl brings up a good point. Are these just bored teenagers doing something egregious like burning a ballot box, and they don't really understand the full consequence of what they're doing? That they're setting democracy on fire when they do that. Are they just young arsonists? Kids love fire, but what goes into the mind? How did that kid come to realize that was something that it doesn't really matter. It's not that bad, really. I'm just burning some paper in a box. How do teenagers come to that place where they're actually throwing a Roman candle into a fucking voting box, right? Because I'm bored? I think there's something a little deeper than that. I get the board idea. Like, hey, there's something to do, man. Let's go do it. Or fucking Joe and Kamala says, we're all Antifa. We're all Antifa. Antifa.com, the White House, it's all the same.
That intentional act trying to affect the election process, we're dedicated to stopping that kind of behavior, and we're working toward that today. Finally, I just wanted to end with, it is an active investigation. We're following up on the leads that we developed, and we're going to have additional information I think Mike's going to share with us here later today. There's a limited amount of information that we can share because it's an ongoing investigation. So I just wanted to say thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate you being here and sharing what we're doing to resolve these. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
You look down in this box right here. They have a photo of the car. I don't know if there's a license plate on the front. I know some states don't have front license plates, but they got a make and a model. And I bet if you zoom in, you could get an ID of the guy. Right? Is he wearing a mask? Is he wearing an Antifa mask?
I'm Tim Scott.
Is he all dressed in black?
I'm the Director of Elections for Multnomah County. The details have already been covered. The good news is the fire suppression devices inside the box extinguished any fire almost immediately. There were only 3 ballots that were in the box out of hundreds that had any damage whatsoever. And we were able to clearly read the voters' names on those ballots. So we will be reaching out directly to those that were impacted. Later today, we will have all the ballots processed that were in that box, except for those 3 where we'll be reading we'll be reaching out to those voters. And I want to make sure that voters can be assured that if they place their ballot in that box between the hours of 3:30 in the afternoon on Saturday or until about 3 a.m. this morning, that we have a dedicated line set up for anyone in that situation.
He's telling you, he's giving you times where we can guarantee you that nobody's going to set it on fire between these hours. After those hours, you're on your own. That's what he just said.
That's in our press release from earlier this morning. They can call, someone will answer directly, and we can give them exact information about the status of their ballot if they have concerns. No other ballots in the drop box were damaged, and I just want to reiterate that it's important that anyone who sees any suspicious activity around a ballot drop site, please reach out, call us.
Why don't you put a fucking $5 camera? Why don't you put a camera and lights by the box and put it someplace where people can fucking see it? God damn it. I want that button.
Let us know. I'm really grateful for the support that we receive from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, Portland Police, and the workplace security team. We fortunately had an officer from workplace security in the building last night, so the reaction time was very quick and we were able to limit the damage. Thank you.
Thank you. So far, they basically have no idea. We could see the level of or lack of security around the boxes. Like they don't give a fuck. They just drop these steel boxes anywhere, right? In fucking places like Portland where there's homeless people and vagrants all over the place. It just seems like they didn't give a shit. Right? They're putting these ballot boxes out there. People are throwing their vote into a black hole where some kid can set it on fire with a flare. That's what we got. That's our elections in 2024. I'm telling you, Elon Musk is right. After this, if we don't change this system, there's not going to be any elections. There might be, but nobody's going to believe it's true, right? FBI can't find the people that did this? Come on.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Multnomah County Sheriff's Office Law Enforcement Chief, Kerry Care. The Sheriff's Office is...
Guy's name is Kerry Care. Kerry Care. That's a tough name to grow up with. Kerry Care.
Working closely with all our law enforcement partners and the elections office to ensure that voters feel safe and feel that they have easy access to all the ballot drop sites. We want all the community to know that we want to ensure a safe and secure election, and it's something that we take very seriously. Voters can trust that we're taking steps to ensure that the ballot boxes are safe.
Yeah.
As planned, we're stepping up our patrols, both.
How about this? How about they put on a notice on the box? It says, before you place your ballot in this box, put your hand on the box to make sure it's not on fire. Fucking, right? Do that, right? Say, if you see... Another sign. If you see smoke coming out of this box, move to the next box because it's on fire.
Uniformed and
something like I think I'm channeling Sam Kedison.
And non-uniformed around the area of all our ballot boxes within our county. We want you to know that the elections office is also safer than it's ever been before. We have uniformed facility security officers here.
Yeah, they're protecting themselves, but they're not protecting the vote. They're like, hey, fuck the vote, just protect us. We got the guns. Put the box outside. If someone tries to blow it up.
Deployed at the elections office.
It does seem weak, right? The security around this particular incident seems like nobody really cares. You could just drive up and fucking do whatever you want to the box.
To provide a physical.
Yeah, I bet people take a shit in there too, right? They'll crawl in there, take a shit.
Safety presence for everybody. Lastly, the community is our force multiplier. I want to remind people, if you see something, make sure that you say something. Let us know if it's imminent violence, that you call 911. Make sure you document.
Imminent violence? imminent violence, he said. Right?
Document what
So let's not change the subject, Kerry Kerr.
you saw or experienced, and when it happened and where it happened. If the threat is urgent, not urgent, notify an election official at your polling place.
Notify the election official that the box is on fire, and then they'll set you on fire. Right? Oh, you want to report a box on fire? Oh, we have a room for you. Come right in here and sit down. And then they make the room disappear.
Form of voter intimidation, disruption, blocking of access, or vandalism at these sites will not be tolerated. We will respond swiftly, and they will be investigated to the fullest extent. I'd like to introduce Multnomah County Chair Jessica Peterson.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Multnomah County is committed to the fundamental protection of our democracy.
Oh, yes.
Keeping this election free, fair, and safe is a coordinated effort that involves the many leaders here today and many more across every one of our governments and offices.
So integral. Just put the box out where people can burn it, right? Okay. I got you. Loud and clear.
I need you to know that we are working together and we are prepared for this moment. As Election Day nears and our community continues to vote, there may be moments of uncertainty, heightened emotions, or unusual events like we had this morning. Elections experts, law enforcement, and partners here in Multnomah County are ready to respond as needed. We will continue to be ready for anything that occurs in the next several weeks.
Yep.
I am so grateful for the essential, hardworking people who work to ensure that we have fair, accurate, and transparent elections, especially in these times where we're seeing events like this morning, along with claims of rigged elections and illegal voting.
For PD, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, elections, and the FBI, and through that collaboration and analysis of surveillance footage, we have...
There's another one. This guy talks about, I think, he talks about what are the consequences if they catch the guy. They got a whole shopping list of things they're going to charge if they can catch him.
Identify the suspect vehicle connected to this, and I will be pushing that photo out via flash news early this afternoon in time for your afternoon and evening coverage. With that collaboration between all the agencies and why everyone's here today. And again, the FBI is also running a separate but parallel investigation as well.
The FBI is running a separate investigation. We're separate from you. No. You do your investigation, and then we investigate how you investigated the investigation. And then we make a determination based on our investigation of investigating you while you were doing the investigation. It's like smoke screens. It's like smoke screen and mirrors. What will the suspect be charged with? This is the big question. What will the suspect be charged with?
Anticipated that question coming, and I can tell you that the charges, and this is just potential, possession of a destructive device, manufacturing of a destructive device, unlawful use of a weapon, criminal mischief in the first degree, reckless burning, obstructing governmental or judicial administration, and illegal acts related to voting machines or vote tally systems. I think it's also important to note, I didn't mention it yet, but
what about domestic terror, right? There's people that are, I guess, watching this program, they got thrown in jail for showing up at a rally on January 6th. You remember that rally that they had? People showed up and ended up in fucking prison for showing up at a rally. These guys are burning the election, burning the fucking election, right? And there's no insurrection or seditious conspiracy to overthrow the government by burning the fucking ballots. Come on.
Multnomah County District Attorney's Office.
Am I overreacting? I don't think so.
Office is involved in this as well, so additional charge.
The evil girl says, Russia did it. It was Russia. Right? The FBI is going to come out and say, Russia. We saw Vladimir Putin fucking running away from the box with a flare.
Could be levied based on what they come up with when we locate this individual.
Can you explain how the fire suppressant works inside
All right, so we know what the guy's going to get charged with. Here we go, one more.
Give out new ballots for folks who dropped theirs off over the weekend at the Fisher's Landing C-Tran Transit Center. That's where Maggie Lind dropped hers off just before 11 a.m. Saturday.
Yeah, as an 18-year-old freshly, I was really excited to participate in this election, especially since it's a presidential election.
Maggie Lind is a student at Washington State University.
Why don't you let it speak, you idiot?
And a Camas, Washington native. She recently filled out her first ballot while at school, then made the trek home to drop it off in Vancouver.
Oh, I thought I really lucked out.
But her first voting experience took a turn Monday morning.
Look at the fucking images. Police line, do not cross. All right, this is your ballot box set on fire. Fuck your election, man. We don't give a shit.
All of a sudden, the family group.
Fuck your election.
Chat is.
Your election sucks. Your election is a dumpster fire, man.
Blowing up, talking about the ballot box burning. And he goes, "Sorry, Maggie, I think that was your ballot."
Maggie says her ballot was among the ones burned at 3 voting drop boxes in Vancouver and Portland.
Has something like this ever happened before?
No, this is unprecedented.
Clark County Auditor Greg Kimsey says his office is busy getting new ballots.
Let me ask you a question. What's worse than setting a ballot box on fire in the street with maybe 100 or 500 ballots? Or what the Democratic Party did to Bernie Sanders by eliminating 200,000 potential Bernie Sanders voters in the great state of New York, in the city of New York, when he ran against Hillary Clinton. 200,000 votes were purged from the rolls, right? New voters, right? We have evidence of that. There's evidence of election fraud in New York during that primary. Right, but there's no. But so the point is, if you get the kids that are burning the boxes, you're still not going to get the fat jerk off that works at the election bureau and took, I don't know, 50 grand, put 50 grand as, pay off his mortgage. And he just, he makes 200,000 votes disappear. So Hillary Clinton clinches New York and Bernie Sanders goes the fuck away.
Ballots into the hands of the voters affected by the arsons. On top of that, it's
Vancouver, Washington, diligent escape. It's Vancouver, Washington, not Vancouver, Canada. It's Vancouver, Washington.
Team at the elections office and the Clark County Sheriff's Office will ramp up security at ballot drop sites across the city.
We'll have one person in each ballot box, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, simply to observe what's going on. If they observe something suspicious, they'll be instructed to call 911. They're not there to interact with citizens or to be confrontational in any way whatsoever.
For voters like Maggie, she says she won't let burned.
So now you'll have, you heard what he said, now they're going to have police at the ballot fucking, is this thing nailed into the ground? Is that what they did? They screwed it into the ground? Right, they're gonna have guards guarding the box.
Ballots stop her from using her voice in this election.
It's really easy to get stuck in that mindset of, oh, one vote won't change anything. But obviously, if everyone thought that way, there wouldn't be voting at all. So just try not to think like that.
I'm gonna try not to think like that. So in better news, are we open yet? Yes, we're open. We're open, and look at Trump go. Look at fucking Trump go. Down, not so bad. Down 2 this morning, but man, what a run Trump is having. Right, this is the stock of the decade. Really, look at this thing. So let's look at the 5 minute. This is big right here. This is also an indicator of what Wall Street thinks is going to happen. We're opening down a little bit right now, but look how high up we are. Right, we're all the way up there in the stratosphere. Right, moving very, very quickly. Right, this is October, beginning of October. We were at where are we? We're beginning of October. 7, 12. Where the fuck were we? It went down to, it went down to as low as 12. I had my cursor in the wrong spot. We went down to 12, and the date of that $11.94 on September 24th. Right, that's when Kamala Harris's honeymoon was happening. right? And ever since then, look how fucking straight up this is going. This is all you got to think about if you're trying to figure out what the consensus is on this election, right? Forget about the polls. People are putting their money. Now, there is a degree of short squeeze going on right now, but short squeeze is also an indicator. When people feel like the stock is going to go up, they go back and they cover their short position. They buy it so they don't get hosed. Because the higher it goes up, they're losing money when it goes up on a short sale. Right, so short squeeze is not necessarily an indication. I wish I was talking about this on an upper day, but right now we're down 5%. But that's really not a big deal. As I said, look how far up it is from 12 all the way up. The high was 54 yesterday. 54 yesterday, right? So get a little action on this one, right? I'm in at 24, I think, for disclosure. I'm in at 24. I took a beating because I was holding it, and then it went down. And then at 24, I just said, fuck it, just leave it there. And we're all the way up, right? So I'm championing it because I do have a piece of it. But so what? I think it's real. And I'll let you go right here. This is the great, if you think that the corruption, if we're at the end of the corruption cycle, look at this. Steve Bannon, the great Steve Bannon, the guy who basically navigated Trump into the White House in 2016 as his chief advisor. I forgot what his official role was, but he was the man, the myth, the legend. And they let him out of prison. He got out of jail yesterday. Let's listen to Steve Bannon, and I'll let you go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace, everybody. Yeah, Steve Bannon.
Has had President Trump's back, and in particular, thank you for coming. You know, I put and I think Raheem Kassam has just put it up. The first statement I think I made from Danbury was about 4 weeks ago, September 26th. I said victory is at hand. That you can see the collapse of this kind of phony campaign by Kamala Harris, the politics of joy, right? And she had nothing to back it up whatsoever. And you could see the beginning in the polls start to come our way. I'm very proud that the War Room has had President Trump's back, and it particularly has been the platform for the grassroots movement to have their voice heard. And I said at that time that with the hard work of the Get Out the Vote effort and the election integrity effort, that we were on the cusp of having an incredible victory that could actually be a potential landslide. Now we come to today. And I'm finally out of being a political prisoner by the Merrick Garland, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi regime. Okay, for standing up for my political beliefs against an illegitimate committee in the House that did not have a ranking member and did not have minority counsel. I went to a federal prison for 4 months. Now, Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris and Merrick Garland thought they were going to do two things. Number one, they were going to shut down the War Room and not have that as a voice for the grassroots movement of MAGA in this country. And number two, break me. Well, I think you can see today I'm far from broken in my 4 months at Danbury Federal Prison. Why was I empowered? Because I was able to listen, to observe,